Hey everybody. This is now the second time I've done this. So, if you haven't seen the last video, you should check it out. This is the second character. I'm going to be talking about my second OC out of four.
There's a couple more than that.
Oh yes, I should probably tell you guys that I'm gonna have my other buddy here, the one who actually edited the last video. He's gonna be speaking here because this character, Coolman, is actually Coolman's actually so the main four, my four OCs, are kind of representations of like some people in the friend group. I can be, I could be Hank sometimes, but most of the time I'm the other one. I'm Dan. But my friend here, Mr. Cly over here, he's usually Coolman in his respective character. So he might be talking in this video more than me. Yeah, I guess I'll let him take the floor here.
Alright. Hey, everyone. My name is Clymarin, and I'm the writer for Danzplanet. So, I didn't create Coolman, but when I found out about Coolman, I sort of slowly leaned more into the persona, and now I do it a lot of the pretty much all the time. I always am Coolman. Coolman always is me. Anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about the man himself. So, Coolman was created a long time ago. I want to say 2 or 3 years ago. He was created. Yeah, he was created by Daniel in a YouTube skit. So he was filming a video and he had a pair of sunglasses on. So he called himself Cool Man, and everything sort of went from there. He started appearing a lot more in Dan's drawings, and so eventually he turned into more of a fully fledged character with a whole personality. He's always been very chill and very laid back and all, but he didn't start out rich. That's one of the big things about his character and his personality, that he's a very rich man. But that's actually, I would say, pretty recent development in terms of his characterization, because he was for a long time just a guy who was cool. But one day I was like, well, what if Coolman's rich and he's the guy who's funding all their adventures? And we decided that worked, and it's been part of his character ever since. And yeah, that went on to develop his family's lore, and that developed Jen and his father and his mother, and yeah, everything stems from that. And it influences I think most of the, well, at least it influences most of the characters that Coolman interacts with, because he'll flash $200 at someone and they'll start speaking with a very different tone. So yeah, Coolman is one of my favorite characters because he can just be very funny in different situations.
Yeah, he's very aloof.
He's aloof. He's very funny, and as a character, he's the comedic relief for the entire series. In terms of the main four, he's sort of not really a brother to anyone. He's more like the cool uncle to, yeah, he's like the cool uncle to Toast and to Hank. And to Dan and him are best buddies. Dan and Coolman are one of the most iconic duos in the entire series. I usually like to split up the main four into Coolman and Dan and Toast and Hank. That's the subdivisions. And it's just because Coolman and Dan work very well with each other. They bounce off each other a lot, and they can have a lot of nice dialogue, good character moments, and stuff like that. So that's everything you really need to know on the character side of things. Let's move on to the design. So Coolman is very blonde. He has sunglasses and a baby blue turtleneck and the sports coat, and then he wears the khakis and the sandals. So he has a button nose, which is a pretty recent development. Like, that's recent as in a week or two ago, right? I guess he doesn't know either.
Yeah, no, don't worry. So I will talk about some things about his design as like, so at first Coolman was just like a version of my Sona, or like an alter ego of mine, because it was just me in a comedy sketch wearing sunglasses. But it was when I went on a trip to Florida, so I was like, okay, I want to make this a character, and I made it more like, you know, Florida surfer dude, you know, he's blonde, he's cool, and like he wore like a tank top. He was a surfer at first. And the turtleneck and the overcoat didn't come until like later, when it was like, okay, he doesn't really fit in because he's just looking like summer. He could wear his original clothing sometimes, but his new design, I like it way better. Just to say.
Yeah, so Coolman's design, it's roughly it was inspired by his old design with the sandals and the sunglasses, which is typical of people down in Florida. But now that he lives in Chicago, it's a lot different, so that's why he now has the jacket, so he's not cold. He's still probably cold because he's like, he's cold because he has just sandals and regular pants on. He's not equipped for the winter weather.
Yeah. Also, he wears socks with sandals because he doesn't know how to tie his shoes.
That's true. That's canon.
But also, he used to have a hat. He used to have like a cap, and then I was like, this is too much. It just was very hard to draw at the time as well. So I was like, just get rid of it.
He also has sandals because Toaster cannot draw feet. He cannot draw human feet. He can only draw rabbit feet. That's true. That's canon. If you see old photos of Coolman, he has just rabbit feet. But that's neither here nor there.
Like, he has like weird stumps. It's
so you know, we just put a band-aid on the problem, and now he's wearing socks. Yeah, it doesn't really matter that much because, you know, it's the feet. It's like the least important part of the character design usually. Anyway,
Yep.
Yeah, he's like a cool uncle, but he usually. But with Hank, he'll sort of act as like a tempter. Like, he'll be like, "Oh, come on, Hank, it would be so cool if we did this thing." And Hank will be like, "I don't want to though." Coolman will be like, "Come on, man, it would be so cool. And besides, something's gonna go wrong." And Hank will eventually be like, "Okay, fine, let's do it." And with Dan tries to be the voice of reason, but you know, sometimes Coolman is just like, "Nope, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do whatever the heck I want." And then with Toast, he's like the cool uncle. He'll be like, "Oh, you know what we could do? We could go do this thing that you want to do." And Toast will be like, "Oh, heck yeah, that's really cool."
Yeah, he's the cool rich uncle, you know?
The cool rich uncle, which is an archetype I find pretty fitting for him. So yeah, he's. Let's talk about his voice. So as of right now, I have not settled on a voice for him, but I know roughly what it's going to be. It's going to be it's going to be sort of deep. It's going to be way back here. It's going to be very relaxed. Something like this. This is a voice, you might hear something like this in the show, but I have not decided yet. Coolman was born in Florida, but he went up to Chicago because he wanted to. His dad still lives there, and so does his sister, but he lives up in Chicago with the main four. And so he sometimes visits down there. Jen sometimes visits up to Chicago. His father never really leaves. Florida. He's sort of just spending the rest of his life there. But yeah. 1 second. Let me click clock. It's true. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Okay, I guess that's it. Yeah, this has been This has been a character talk on Jeremy Coolman Campbell. Next video will be either Toast or Dan. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye. Psst, hey, Dan, you want to add anything?
Yeah, so, this is the end of the video. There's 2 videos on the screen right now. Click that one, or that one. Whichever one you like more. Personally, I like the one on the left. Thank you for watching. Toodles.